We've all heard of the Holocaust, the 12-year event during World War II that devastated the lives of 11 million. What we may not realize is that 87 years ago, Germany is not the only place where prejudice and oppression against Jewish residents was happening.
In 1933, Toronto, Ontario, a place many of us know, Jewish communities who were poor and working class would often cool off by going to beaches and swimming on the weekends. Locals began complaining about them and formed the Swastika Club and displayed the swastika at the beaches to make the Jews feel unwanted. On the 1st of August, the club became the subject of an article in Toronto's Jewish Standard, causing Jewish residents to protest against the clubs. The clubs in turn protested back. The Swastika Club stated that it had nothing to do with Hitler, and they insisted that they just wanted to keep their beaches clean.
On August 16th, during a baseball game at Christie pits, the game was between the Harbor Playground, who consisted mainly of Jewish and Italian members, and St. Peter's, a team sponsored by St. Peter's Church. The game started off fine, but a blanket with a swastika painted on was displayed, and young Jewish men rushed to destroy it.
After destroying it, supporters from both sides rushed in and a fight started. According to the Toronto Daily Star, more than 10,000 citizens, excited by cries of "Hail Hitler," became a disorderly mob, and the bloodshed was described as heads were open, eyes blackened, and bodies thumped and battered as literally dozens of persons, young and old, were injured.
This event was obviously devastating, but luckily there were no fatalities. Now we move on to one of the unlucky few who watched this devastation unfold.
Life was hard then. I was beaten up in alleys by gangs. Life was bad, but after all these years, the memories are still here. It was a normal day. I was out with my father on a hill overlooking the Then we saw a swastika rise into the air. Even at 7, I knew what it meant. Someone didn't like me, and I didn't know who it was. I remember it clearly. The fight was horrible. Screams and cries echoed from it, and I remember hearing the police motorcycles. I remember how loud the engines were. Fights broke out for hours after. My parents eventually took me home.
You can imagine how hard this was for him at only 7.5, so we must acknowledge the prejudice and xenophobia before it becomes a bigger issue, even now. You may think that nowadays it's different, but a new Hitler can rise at any time.